So that bomb, there was a few assassinations after that. I also lost my son on the last shooting. 3 bullets, 4 bullets hit me. I didn't even know I was hit. And the guy, I went down when I pulled him. Boom, 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 boom. 4 shots. I heard him, and I drove. I saw my son hit. I pushed him into. I pulled him into the car. This is what I heard. And when I heard that, I put him back.
Dear Heavenly Father, just please watch over me and the brother Vince here, the one true God. You've brought us together for a reason, so I just thank you. And please just put a blessing over everybody watching right now in your precious name. Thank you. All right, my brother. Well, man, how about you introduce yourself, brother, and where you're from?
Okay, so my original name, of course, my birth name is Vincenzo Focarelli. I was born in a beautiful city in Salerno, which is in the area of Campania. So if you look at, for example, South Australia, Adelaide is the capital, yeah? So the Campania area is Naples, Naples, Napoli,
Yeah,
Naples.
yeah.
That's the capital. We're just like maybe an hour and a half away from there on the beachhead, Lungomare, Long Beach. So I was born there in 1974. I was 6 years old. There was a big earthquake, and it's in the encyclopedia, 1980, the end of 1980. This earthquake destroyed a lot of the south, killed a lot of people, destroyed a lot of buildings. My grandfather, who's Vincenzo Focarelli Senior, they gave me the name. He was already established in Australia, Adelaide, South Australia. So Alhamdulillah, we got to migrate, and in Islam we say hijrah, migrate to Adelaide, 1980. Yeah.
So 1980, you made the move to Adelaide. So, brother, it's a big pleasure to have you on the show, man. I know that your message is going to reach a lot of people, brother. So, the brother is actually staying in Malaysia right now, man. He's doing a lot of positive things. He's found his faith, so he's doing, God's work over there. So it's a beautiful thing to see, man. And again, I know this message is going to reach a lot of people. So, the brother actually has a awesome story of redemption. Man, this guy's been through it all, man. They can make a Hollywood movie. They make a Hollywood
Inshallah.
movie about you.
I hope we get the community so we can help the community a little bit, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And just to add to that, my lion, I hope that this podcast and many more podcasts you do really pierce the mind, the heart, and the very essence of the soul of our youth, and even our brothers that are in gangs and doing certain things. Muslims, non-Muslims, it doesn't matter. The community in whole. It's a disgusting, putrid, hurtful source of. It's very satanic, and it's like cancer. If you don't do something about it in your life, it spreads. What I mean by that, it spreads into your family. You get shot, somebody dies, you go to jail for a long time. The suffering is not just maybe you hurt or shot somebody on that end. That suffering of that family doesn't stop there. It starts with you, especially with your loved ones, So we really, really want to send a message out, brother. Like I said to you before, I want to give you props again. I usually don't, I've been asked to do some podcasts. I've rejected some of them. The platform is not, it's not something I'm looking for. Yours is very amazing, brother.
So the bro has been through a lot here. I mean, as we'll go into, he's sort of lived the street life, you know what I mean? Been involved with gangs. He was an underworld figure over there in Australia, in Adelaide, quite well known. Numerous assassination attempts on his life, been shot multiple times, formed his own street gang. I mean, became the president of the Comancheros in South Australia. But I mean, brother, to start us off, man. So migrated to Adelaide, brother, and I mean, how was that for you, man? Moving to South Australia from Italy.
Us truckers, when we migrate with passion. I remember very, 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 very carefully that when I was 6 years old, I didn't speak English, So I was put into schools where I thought Italian, the language of the Italian language, was the language. I never knew that the world had other countries. I thought Italy So if you, my mother mentioned Australia. It was really funny. She goes, we were going to the airport, and she goes, we're going to Australia. I said, oh yeah, Milano, north. She goes, no, Australia. Where? Benevento, Roma. I started naming the parts of Italy because that's all I knew. That's all they taught us in the classes. Italian parents are very strict, brother. They don't, allow you to. You have to go to school, no problem. The school's just about a block away. But if you have to come out of the house and go play, go to the park or do things like that, they're very strict. So they don't allow you. So my upbringing was a little bit strict. But I'll tell you something funny in a minute. Because of my energy, I remember when I was 12 years old, I caused a lot of trouble at home with my sisters. I was bored. I didn't know what to do. I was bored. And every time I caused trouble, my father would smack me, get the belt. So this was an ongoing thing. It was becoming consistent. This relationship between me and my father, doing the thing. I think I learned to box with my dad, I think, moving around, But I'll tell you, and so one day, my dad got so frustrated, and he goes, that's it. Baby, he opened the front door. I looked at him. I'm thinking, what are you doing? Baby, go to the park, do something, get out of the house. You cause too much trouble. I thought I won the cross lotto. He thought he was punishing me. I thought I won the cross lotto, bro. When he opened that door, I saw freedom. I'm thinking to myself, is he playing with me? If I go out, then he's going to grab me and smack me. What is he doing? So I started walking slowly. As soon as I jumped the gate and he closed the door, straight to the park, brother, and I found freedom. And in that, because so knowing that I caused trouble at home and my dad kicked me out to the park, I would instigate issues at home, right? Yeah. So my father would say, to the park, thank you, gone. Yeah. So I started getting a little bit understanding, So I did a few little things to cause trouble with my sisters. It was my fault. I did it intentionally, not at the start, but at the end I did because I went to the park. And I tell you, my best years, from 12 years old, playing tennis, going to the park, feeling free, meeting friends and all the rest of it, because I was locked up in a home. But the issue started from there, involving in gangs,
Well, I mean, sorry to interrupt, bro, but
yeah.
so from the age of 13, you're starting to hang out on the streets now, brother. So that developed into gangs and things. Like, were there a lot of other Italians around, bro? Like, was that sort of your?
Not. I tell you, I grew up very, very fast in Adelaide. I got kicked out from Enfield High School, and I remember going to Blackfriars High School, and I formed a gang. So I used to go to Highney Street, which is the main strip of the city. Nightclubs, underground gambling, strippers, drugs, you name it. There was the street of Iblis, Satan, 100%. And I went there at 14 years old, and I started meeting people. I loved it. Downtown, video games. My first fight on the street, I met my best friend. He was Charlie, always at the time. He died and passed away. We hit it off. We had a great relationship, and we formed a gang at that age. It was called DFP, Damn Psychos. You know what DF is, right?
Yeah.
And we had the wolf at the front, the leader at the T-shirt city, had leader of the pack. We took that off, put DFP, and we had the wolf at the front with all the wolves. So we created this gang. It made headlines all over Adelaide, so much so that we were banned, all of us, from east, west, north, and south terrace of the city. And I was arrested, and it was the first time I tasted prison.
Oh wow! So they took you straight inside. Yeah.
They came and got me, arrested me. I got bail because I'm young, right? But when I went to court, they gave me 15 days in the lockup with. And I tell you, I've been in the adult prison. Nothing's more stauncher than the kids' prison, right? These guys are ruthless. Don't play indoor soccer with them. They play shin soccer, They're crazy. So I had the first taste of prison at 15, yeah. And I think, this life started from there,
Wow. So it all started with that. But by that time, I mean, man, you've already sort of started to establish your name, I guess, you know what I mean, in those circles. Yeah. So I mean, where did it progress, man, into like early adulthood and stuff?
Yeah, but I wasn't looking to make a name for myself. I really wasn't. I was just enjoying being around the boys and showing unity. So this DFB groups was Greeks, Serbs, Croatians, Lebanese, Italians. It was just a mixture of culture together. I think there was about 30 plus of us, and it was the first time I started to see who was real, who was just talk, because you believe as a kid when somebody says something, you believe them. Rah, 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 I'll stand by you, you believe them. You think, wow, man, you can rely on this guy. But, the reality is that from 30, 5 were the best, myself and a few others that, at that time were really real. We stuck together, did the, most crazy things. But I remember at 14, I was approached by this syndicate. I won't mention any names. I knew them very well. I grew up with a year or two prior to one, but I've been hanging around on the street and I've met all the madams of the strip joints, the owners of nightclubs, people from the Lebanese community. I was very close. There was I don't know, there was a very, it's hard to explain. I think everywhere I stepped, people got amused or attracted by my character because, they let me into the nightclubs at 14, 15. No other kid. I remember I had Kiwi boys, man, from New Zealand. I swear to God, brother. I've never seen anything so big. Walking human mountains. I kicked, bro, legs like that. And I remember, yeah, brother, I had such a friendship with these guys. They used to hang around at Rio's, this nightclub. They used to work there. Big boys, brother. I don't think I've seen anything like that in my life, man. So the street became my home, really. I didn't go to school. I went there. I started going to Hunter Street. And I got approached by the syndicate. I knew the guy that was involved heavily into this syndicate. And he approached me. He goes, Vince, I want to talk to you. I said, okay. So we went for a walk down the street in Hunter Street. And he said to me, look, we want you to start with us. We want you in with us. We want you to start selling, this and that. And I remember saying, yeah, no problem. He goes, but, don't worry about that. They knew that I was that sort of person, I would protect them if anything happened. So I sold my first, the heroin at 14, 15 in the street and sticks of marijuana and stuff like that. And that's where it started for me. I saw the money coming in. It wasn't millions, but at 14, 15, seeing $50, $100, $50, $30, $40 continuously during the day, and you're making about a couple of $100 a day, it was good money, so I started doing that, and I think that's when my transition, and from 14 to 21, I remember that the relationship with that street became very professional and very loyal to the owners and myself. These things started happening to me, and it started progressing. So selling this, going here, the respect, the trust, other things started coming into play, as you know. And one day I hit prison for with everything I did at that point. I was very blessed because I just went for driving disqualified for 7 weeks, and I went into mainstream prison. And the biggest relationship, the best relationship I had was with the Aborigines. Had the best relationship with them. They run the jail, they run the place, and I remember that drugs in there is everything. Doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It's everything there. And I was in a position to, have it in there. We had a great relationship and stuff like that. Got into a couple of little scraps. And then I did 6 months for an assault, actual bodily harm. So I did a 6 months whack. And then my biggest one was I did a year continuously, and then a 6.5 years straight. All up, brother, I've done 11.5 years of my life in prison. Right? That 11.5 years of prison, before that 6.5 years, I was involved with a lot of Lebanese organizations, syndicates and stuff like that. Did a lot of crazy stuff. I only mentioned a couple of little things here, just really crazy stuff, and had a great relationship. I went in with politics on my back. I'm with these people, so there's politics, and I never knew that I learned fast how important politics is in prison, you know, and you have to deal with it regardless. You can't back down, you can't run, you can't do any of that thing. And I did the best I can. I am barred. They tried to stab. I fought and stayed. And that's not to brag. That's just my character, you know. So it was a very dangerous place, very dark, brother, very, very dark and depressing. What I mean by depressing is when you're someone that's active, loves life, loves family, loves the community, loves to do things, wants to, see the world for what it is, even though you're doing the wrong thing, you know. It's like putting a bird in a cage, and that bird, you know, you think he's doing all right in that cage, but it's very depressing because you don't see your family on a daily basis, your kids. You have to make a phone call. You have to be locked up at a certain time. The visits are very short. It's very restrictive. So if you love your family and you love, you know, life and things like that, jail's not for you. But you have to switch off because, you know, it doesn't matter what you do, they're not going to let you out until the time is right, you know. So, but I remember around that time when I got out, while I was in that process of prison, the 6.5 years, I did a lot of things, you know, for a lot of syndicates, no questions asked. They know who they are. I'm not going to mention them. I did a lot of things that, you know, should have put me for a very long time. I'm blessed. And many, many things. Then when I got the 6.5 years, I went back for selling heroin, actual bodily harm. They made it look really big that I, you know, was providing this. It made it really look big. I wasn't that big, you know. I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't as big as they made it be in court, and they gave me a nice whack on that. So that 6.5 years, my brother, was the transition for me. Like I was a gangster. I knew I was real. I felt I was real. I'll take on it. I don't care. My mouth was closed. People know that. Even my enemies, they can talk as much as they want. They know, 100%, right? But that 6.5 years changed me, because when you're in jail, you know who your friends are. Okay, everyone's happy outside. You're staunch. You're loyal. Everyone's with you. But when you go to prison, you realize who your friends really are. And to do 6.5 years, you know, I got dirty with a few people, and I realized that, okay, don't worry. So I made a decision. So I saw that. I made a decision. I said, when I get out, I'm done. I'll create my own organization. I'm not going to be part of anything and blah, 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 all the rest of it. But I said I was always loyal to someone. But then when I said that, I started going to nightclubs with certain boys and stuff like that. And we got into a lot of fights with some crews, bikies and things like that. We got the best of them, and the name started getting around, you know. And that's when the Hells Angels recruited me, you know. So I was a prospect for the Hells Angels in South Australia. I took it very serious, you know. I've always wanted to be part of a brotherhood. I've always wanted to have that love brother, you know. This I saw, and who's bigger than the Hells Angels at that time? It's like you won the lotto if you're a gangster, and and you're young, you're fresh, you're active, you know, and you want that life. I've always attracted, and the Hells Angels prospected for them, and you know, things didn't go to plan. You know, they weren't who they say they were, or you know, this brotherhood, love and respect. Yeah. No chance. So you know, it didn't work out there, and you know, of course, the news, shootings. You know, there was a bomb put near my house. When they went to take the bomb out, it blew them up. You know, this is all over the news. Body parts everywhere. So these were, you know.
So they were trying to. That was an assassination attempt on you. So they tried to.
Yeah. Because a few of their houses got shot up, and they tried to blame me and my organization. You know, what can I say to that? You know, they declared war because they caused issues with me for no reason. We found out it was just out of jealousy. Look at the pettiness, you know. So I had a fight with the sergeant of arms. He can talk as much as he wants. He got bashed, you know, and he did a lot of talking. I had a fight with him in prison. You know, it didn't go his way. He knows that. I had a fight with someone else. It was a 20-year member there at a restaurant, and I'm not mentioning any names, but they didn't want a bar of it. After that, they kicked him out, because the people I was with rang him up and said 1, 2, 3. And the people that rang him up, they know that these people and myself are ready to go all the way. There's no issue. He was in the wrong, no problem at all. He was in the wrong. And because of that, they actually kicked him out for causing the drama and didn't want any issues with us. And that was done and dusted from there. So he seemed, But, the word on the street after that was that they tried to assassinate me with a bomb. It's all over the news. There's nothing that I'm saying to you that is of no, it's not like it's coming out of my mouth and it was a secret. It's all over the news. Everybody knows the Hells Angels. So if people think I'm talking, let them still that. We want to send a good message. So this bomb was meant to be put near the window of my bedroom where I slept with my wife at the time and kids, young kids. It would have killed us. Like I said, I was prospecting for the Hells Angels. There was a war. It's all over YouTube. There's nothing I'm saying here that is of any difference of that. And we're at war with them. And these boys are, Sydney and Melbourne, especially Sydney, were watching from there. They were profiling me for 2 years. They said it to see if I would talk, and see how I handle things. So we handle things. We made a gang called the New Boys and things like that. And it became very public, very on the news, everything like that. And, they took an interest in what we had. So they contacted me one day. I remember the Mongols contacting me. And I was almost about to say yes until they contacted me and said, don't make any decisions yet. We want to come and see you. So they come and saw me and we had a chat and I told them my terms. They agreed. And, I became the state president of the Comancheros. Look, like the Hells Angels, brother, I'm not here to... I have to speak the truth. People have to know it's not real. This so-called love and respect and brotherhood in these organizations is not. The only love and respect is for money, and that's it. Money and power. So if people youth wants to go that way, it's an illusion and delusion for them. And I'll tell you something, once you step in that life, it becomes dark, your life, full of evil jinns and spirits around you, 100%. We believe in this. And evil. You do things that are not pleasant or peaceful to your heart, and you have to do them. Some things are very serious to do. You have to knock someone. You have to pick up amount of drugs. Now, if you get caught, you're doing 30 years or 20 years with the drug, you're done. You're finished. Your whole life is finished. So that bomb, there was a few assassinations after that. I've been shot. I have a bullet here. I've been shot in the head, in the arm here. One hit my ribs, 2 ribs broke, come out of the side. I've got a scar on my neck. If any deeper would have severed my nervous system, I would have been paralyzed for life, And one in my leg, here, as you can see.
All right.
Yeah, so alhamdulillah, I experienced a little bit of war games, and but praise Allah that He's blessed me. And these are all point blank range, brother. Point blank range. This is the life. People have to understand. This is not. It's all good to wear a fat gold chain, walk with the boys, put your chest out. You think that now you got a girlfriend, she loves you, your tattoos, this and that. Then when shit hits the fan, everybody wants to be a gangster until you have to do gangster things, right? And then when gangster things happen, the shootings, the murders, the bombings, this is not a joke. People need to understand this is a reality. It's not a movie. I also lost my son on the last shooting. There was a hit. There was a 900,000 AUD. Somebody told me there was a hit that was for 900,000, almost $1 million. Wow, at least I'm worth a little bit, right? Alhamdulillah, I don't want to sound arrogant, but wow, at least they try to spend a bit of money. But it's funny is because, no money or the amount of money they want to put on your head doesn't matter. It's not worth the death of your son or anything like that. So my son's death was written, and I get that. The shooting was written for me. I get that. Why I didn't die, on 5 different occasions, point blank range. The last one, 3 bullets, 4 bullets hit me. I didn't even know I was hit. I saw my son hit. I pulled him into the car. I had my piece. My piece was in my son's thing, because every time I get pulled over, he was 22 years old, beautiful man. Every time I get pulled over, I'm the one that gets checked. Beautiful boy. He was 10 times the man I will ever be. You know, can I honor him for a second, please?
Yeah, of course, bro. Of course.
His name was Giovanni Gianluca Focarelli. His nickname was Gio. Loved by everyone. Even my enemies loved him. I swear to God. He had one of the most beautiful smile, lips like sponge pillows, you know, and smile was infectious, you know, very cheeky, beautiful man. You know, I've never seen or witnessed or experienced in my life, and I mean this from my heart, may Allah, God be the witness. I've never experienced anyone that loved, honored, respected, adhered, and was so polite and beautiful to his mother. Never said no or put his foot down. You know, that's the young man that I want to explain to you. And he would follow me to the ends of the world. No ifs, no buts. He didn't want to hear anything. I'm with Papa. And he made that very clear to his mom. He begged, he put his head down. I'm sorry, Mom, I have to be with Dad. I didn't know this. I got told this later, that he wanted to protect me, you know, because of a few shootings. I was in prison, and when I got out, the mother told me. It was very emotional. But I pulled him in the car, dear brother Dave, and I remember, and the guy, I went down when I pulled him, boom, 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 4 shots. I heard him, and I drove. I didn't feel anything. The bullet in my head, I didn't feel it. The bullet in my ribs, and I tell you, bro, I'd rather be shot every day than have a broken rib. This is the worst fear, brother. You can't cough, you can't go to the toilet, you can't talk. It's the worst. You know, I couldn't even mourn. And I remember driving, boom, 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 boom. So I'm driving, I'm grabbing Johnny, and I turned left, and I grabbed Johnny, and I remember he, you know, the coroner said he died instantly because the bullet went straight to his heart. He had this lifeless look in his face. He had beautiful crystal green eyes, you know. This kid was so handsome, man, honestly. And I remember grabbing his face because I knew that he was, like, I'm not, you know, I wasn't silly. I can see that he was lifeless. But a part of you wished that he was still alive, you know. Mind you, I don't know I've been shot. I got 4 bullets in me. I didn't know. I didn't feel it. The adrenaline was so high, you know. So I grabbed his, I remember grabbing his chin. And while I'm driving, I put my mouth next to him and I blew into him air to try to keep him alive. And I was driving 140, 60. I don't know how I didn't crash, you know, like trying to get to the hospital in time. Mind you, I don't know I've been shot, you know. And I remember when I blew in his mouth, Dave, I heard these bubbles, this blood. Do you remember when you were a kid, you put the straw in the milk?
Yeah, brother.
This is what I heard. And when I heard that, I put him back, you know. I remember putting his face back, and I was driving 140, 160 kilometers. And I just wanted to do one thing before I died. I felt like I'm going to, like, I realized I've been shot and blood, and now I know I've been shot. And I can feel it now, the wooziness, you know. I'm driving, but I can feel it now. I can feel everything there. My lungs. I said, okay, here we go. So I wanted to do something before I died. I felt like I was going to die. So I did 2 things. First thing I did, and I wanted to do this because I wanted to be the one to tell his mother that he's died. You know, maybe that's crazy for some people, maybe that's twisted for others, but I wanted to honor this situation on my terms. You know? And I said, so before I died, I quickly dialed her. I said, look, you know, it was the hardest thing for me to do. I said, please forgive me. You know, Giovanni's dead. And I hung up. I can only imagine. I can only imagine her pain, you know. And so after that, I rang the ambulance. I said, look, I'm on this road. Please get to this, I'm in this car. I don't know how long I can make it to the hospital. I'm probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes away, 5 minutes away, but, meet me. You come and I come, it saves time, right? So just in case, brother, just in case that we can save Johnny, I didn't care about me anymore. But so I stopped the car. I'm spitting blood. I'm feeling woozy and stuff. And the ambulance, I saw it. It came. I thought, come, please. I'm looking. And he died. The coroner said he died instantly. No pain, nothing. He died instantly. His last words were, "Oh, Papa," when he got shot, Papa. He called my name, his dad. It's the hardest thing to live with, and I want to tell people this is not a joke. This is not a joke. You want to live this life, you want to be involved in gangs, you have to be prepared to die, kill someone, do the rest of your life in prison. You think it's all about you killing someone. You think it's all about you, that you spend all this time in prison. You think it's about you. It's not. If you're a real man, you will reflect on the pain of your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your aunties that love you, special auntie that has a special connection with you, or a special uncle, cousins that love the ground you walk on. The 30 years you have to be in jail. That's 30 years of suffering, of crying and depression for everybody. It's a domino effect, King Dave, my brother. This is something that we need to expose to the highest level. And I condone this, but I commend anyone that's in any bikers. I don't care if you're in Hells Angels, Comancheros, Fink, whatever organization you're in. If this message comes out to you, to my Muslim brothers, get out and do something productive and strong in this world before it's too late. If my message is a good message and it provides some sort of change in people's lives, I want that 100%. Because I was watching your podcast. What a lie, man. This guy's talking to real gangsters back in the past, and they're talking, about the past, but positive things now. They know that, So this is amazing. I want to share something else with you, but please.
Yeah,
say something.
No.
So when I was shot, I lost my boy. They arrested after 3-4 days. I said to the doctors, "Take my drips off. I'm done." No. I said, "Please take them off." He wouldn't. So I took them off. Blood everywhere. It doesn't matter. I got dressed. I wanted to go and assassinate this devil that took the life of this innocent young man and my stepson. But as funny as I say that, I'll tell you something later, like the verse that I mentioned to you before. So after that, I went to the elevator, and six detectives came out, and they said, "No, Vince, you can't go." I said, "What do you mean? Out of the way." "No, we're arresting you. 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking to myself, I just lost my boy. You're arresting me. I'm not going to see his funeral. So I launched at him, and the ribs, I've dropped. And look, brother, I told you I'd rather be shot than have 2 broken ribs. The biggest pain. So anyway, they arrested me. Make a long story short, the hardest thing in my life, Dave, and I say this from my heart, please believe me when I tell you this. I've seen some evil stuff. I've been through some tribulations. But up to this point, even my son's death in front of me, I had to switch off. It was very traumatic. If I didn't switch off, I'd be a zombie, So because my focus was him, I couldn't focus on my stepson. And as sad and as wrong and that might sound to others, I know myself. So the hardest thing, I remember I was in the hospital prison, and it was 2 days prior to that, 3 days, we worked so hard, thousands of dollars to the barristers and the QCs, straight to the district court to give my appeal to let me out. I did one from the hospital because when they arrested me, I collapsed again. So they arrested me and locked me up on the bed until I was ready to go. So I did one from the hospital, and the judge said no. Another one from the hospital, the judge said no. So when I was in prison, my son's janaza, which was the funeral, It's all over YouTube and stuff like that. I remember watching it, because there's a process. You wash them, you honor them, you kiss them, you cry, you break down, you hold them, you tell them you love them. I missed all that, and I remember all the boys were carrying him. Dave, I tell you, it was the hardest thing at that time that I've ever experienced in my life, not being there to honor him, to bury him. And so that was very hard for me. So they, when I refused the medication, because it was oxycodone, it was making me sick. It's like heroin. If your pain threshold is high, it's okay. But when it starts coming down your pain threshold, it makes you nauseous, sick. I don't like it. I like to be alert. So I rejected them. I didn't realize that once I signed that form, they're going to transfer me to the main prison, but they put me in G division, which is like C grade. You can't mix with anyone. But my 3 months there were praying more than 5 times, crying to Allah. I saw my son Janaza funeral. I couldn't make it. Reality started kicking in. He's not coming back. It's just torture now. I remember the knot just released so much, so far. Like, took a breath, the pressure on my neck. I cried more than I ever cried in my life. Even when my dad built me with a belt, I cried more than that. Boogie coming out, I don't mind. But I wasn't upset. I wasn't sad. It was tears of joy. The guilt was gone. And I realized now there was something more powerful behind this. And there's a reason why he died. There was a sign for me. And I took that sign very seriously out of respect of 2 things. One, for Allah for saving me and giving me another chance to do good in this world. I took that sign very seriously, and to honor my boy. So when I talk to the youth, he's always mentioned, he's always honored for the man and young man he was and what happened to him. So when that happened, Dave, the next day I was training. I felt like a giant. I realized my purpose in this life. But before that, when I was crying, it took me over an hour. I wanted to thank Allah, but, when you're crying and you're happy, I couldn't get the words out like a baby. It took me over an hour to say thank you. And here I am, So now that I've never gone back, Dave,
Yeah, bro. But I mean, first of all, bro, this is emotional, bro. You know what I mean? For me as well, bro. I mean, just hearing your story, brother, and just imagining how many people we're gonna reach and you're gonna reach with your story worldwide, brother. It's just bro, it's just a privilege to have you here, man. And after going through what happened with your son as well, bro, for you to be able to because I mean you could have gone that dark route, bro, easily. You know what I mean? Once you got out of prison, you could have done all that and probably handled all of that, bro. And just for you to having found your faith, bro. And I'm a big believer that for God or for Allah to use us, bro, he has to break us. You know what I mean? To
absolutely,
to truly be used for the good, brother. And it's unfortunate. It's just we live in a world where there's just, man, I know a lot of good guys, man, you know what I mean? That's in the gang scene, just really good people, mate, you know what I mean?
Just make prayer for them, dua for them, ask Allah
bro.
to bring them out of there,
Yeah.
And give them some good loving when you see them, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. The problem is, Dave, it's not so much us as individuals. It really is a domino effect. It's like cancer. If you don't do something, it spreads, and it spreads into the community, your family, your friends, all these things, at the end of the day. So
and it is a satanic world, like you
very,
said,
very
bro,
satanic.
you know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
That's why, like you said, man, we need to do more, you know what I mean, to guide these people out here, bro, because Satan's got it covered at all angles right now, man. He's controlling the media, the music, man. He's controlling everything we see, hear, and read almost, man. So
we sorry, brother, to interrupt you. We need some rich brothers. I mean, if you're out there, rich brothers, give to projects. If you have a project that's going to help the community, like put a community center for us, we want to put the community centers where there's youth centers, just games, hands-on games, lounge, bling it for them, so they've got a place to hang, not just Muslims, everybody, instead of hang in the city, smoke the ice, party, do things. Look at this kid got stabbed on the street the other day.
Yeah,
a beautiful young brother. I never posted. I put it on my story.
Yeah, no, I saw it, bro.
I put it on my story to make everybody aware, but I couldn't post it. Because watching it was very disheartening, brother. Hardcore. When he dropped,
I did a post about it as well, bro. It was in a split second, mate. in a split second.
Just he wasn't scared. And the guy with the knife, I mean, there was enough of you to fight. But this is it. This is what I mean. This is, if we that are involved in gangs don't see that we are contributing to that. They're seeing that you have to do that to be tough. If we don't contribute to, you want to be in gangs, no problem. But talk to the youth and say, listen, don't come our way. It's not a life. That's being a man, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. But if you want to recruit the young people and start making them into gangsters, this is not okay.
No, that's not.
No. And the mothers, can you imagine the pain of the mother now? A few seconds it was finished. That's it. Just like that, And why? Because we're not doing enough for the youth. And what I mean by that is that, we spend money on nightclubs. The rich people, do something good for the community. You guys are making money, whether illegal or not, I don't care. It's not my business how you make money, right? But contribute to the community. Open up some community centers. Put a little community center where the youth can go there and play hands-on with things, soccer games, instead of this rubbish. These games are crazy, right? So, and a place where, barbecues, and you can invite the community from time to time, have talks, bring people to talk. You got Sonny Bill Williams over there. I'm happy. I'm no Sonny Bill Williams. I'm here. He's up here. No problem at all, Much love to the brother. He's a lion, 10 times what I am. But we're happy to contribute, to come there and talk about our stories and give insight, If you're a soccer player, a footy player, tennis player, or any talents, I've seen a lot of boxers, bro, young guys, boxers, and I said to them, don't get involved with the clubs. He was about to become a professional boxer, this guy, heavyweight. This kid had it. He was winning he was like a young Mike, an Aussie young Mike Tyson, blonde, though, Aussie. And he said, no, I won't. I said, I'm telling you, you step in there, let me help you. I'll support you, manage you and stuff like that. And a club snapped him up, and he's been in jail now for the last, give or take, 8 years, 7 years, 18. I think he's still got a lot to go for a really severe bashing.
Oh, well, brother Vince, man, look, we're sort of coming to the end here, brother. Again, man, this has been it's so incredibly insightful, bro. My heart's full, man. You know what I mean, bro, of your life, bro, and the things that you're doing, bro. It's just so incredible to see, brother. And mate, you know what I mean, sending you nothing but love, man, and respect over there, bro. If you're ever here in New Zealand, bro, give us a buzz or something like that.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, brother.
Absolutely,
for sure, mate. And if I'm ever over there, if I'm ever over
bro,
there,
just tell me when you get here. I'll pick you up myself. I just want to say one thing before you shut on us, right? To all the brothers in New Zealand and in Australia and wherever we're connected, this life is not the life you want for your children, for their children. It's not. It creates darkness. I pray that this podcast can reach the hearts of many of you guys. If there's anything that you can do to benefit the community, like your own community, your aunties, your nephews, your cousins, the streets are full of poor people. The streets are full of ice smoking. It's chaos. There has to be something done. And if people have money and you don't want to show that you've done something, don't worry about doing it in private, but benefit certain projects. Get involved. Come out of that life from the darkness and get into the light. Before it's too late, we get one shot at this life.
Yeah, we only get one shot, brother, and no one knows the day nor the hour, man, when that light's gonna go out. So we have to do, like you said, scary, the fear, bro. You know what I mean? It's the good fear, So
absolutely.
And bro, thank you for, you know what I mean, your words, man, and being to shine light on what that life is actually like, brother. You know what I mean? Which is it's a big lie, bro. It's a big facade, man, and and there's only one truth. So again, Vince, bro, I'm saying, and I'll also leave your I'll leave the brother Vince's here Instagram and TikTok in the description and also in the comments, bro. So if anyone wants to reach out, feel free. The brother's there. He's being shadow banned on Instagram because they don't like the truth on Instagram, bro. But I'll leave his link so you can reach out to him direct on there and also on TikTok. And brother, much love, much respect, man.
Much love. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate for everything. Thank you for the invite. It's been an honor to be on here. I do pray that this, reaches many views.
All right, man. Well, yeah,
Right.
this is gonna reach a lot of people, my brother. So
We
yeah,
hope so. Yeah. Hope it
much
goes
love, my
well.
brother. God willing, yeah.
Much love. Thank you very much. Okay. You take care. Be safe.